Well, hello there. So, welcome back. Bro, it's been so long. It's been so many days. Currently day 47 as you see in the title. Um yeah, it's I don't know. It's been crazy. And so I'm going to tell you I'm going to work cuz I have like an hour and a half 2.5 hours left of work. So I'm going to work and then I'm going to let you know. Um I'm going to let you know what I've been up to. Okay, cool. So, um, okay. So where to begin? Bro, it's been so many days. So what have you guys missed? So you haven't missed much, honestly. Um, bro, this is just gonna be like a little mini podcast episode, I guess. Until my mic dies, you can see like there's like it's red. So it's getting there. It's getting there. But um, basically, last one of the last things I told you, I think, was that like I'm changing my routine. And then one day I just popped up in a new room, and then um I streamed for like 20 minutes that day, I think. And then obviously um yeah, it just like I don't know. Let me I'm going to see like I'm going to see like what the like what it all looks like. Yeah, last time I streamed was like 2 weeks ago. Like fully 2 weeks ago. Or no, fully a week ago. But that was in the room. Last time I actually streamed here is like a week and a half ago, which it feels kind of longer, but that sounds about right. So yeah, I streamed for like 20 minutes that day. It was actually 17 minutes and 56 seconds, and then I haven't streamed since. It's been like an exact week to the date. So let me update you on what happened that week, I guess. Because I don't think I really said anything that day, and my laptop was legit like about to take off, like for real. Okay, I'm sorry, my cloud code is fucking acting up. But okay, so updates, bro. I get so like I'm not the best at multitasking, to be honest with you. So let me see. Okay. Hmm. Okay, cool. I'm just babying my cloud right now, so I'm gonna give you a quick little update. So last time we met in this specific room, last time we met, I was here and I told you that. Okay, okay. I think it's just gonna do. Okay. Um. Okay. Cool. So last time we met, bro. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. I feel bad for whoever's like seriously watching this. But last time we met, I was here and I basically told you that I was going to be switching up my routine. So I said that because of like in summer, sometimes the sun sets at 9 p.m. and I want to maximize my sunlight hours. So I'm just going to, instead of waking up earlier, I'm going to go to bed later. Yeah, that's what I said. And so I tried that. I really did try that. Nah, man. Not like that week, last week. That was the week that I literally got the least done. I got the least done in a very, very, very long time. It's been a while since I've gotten that little done. And so I don't know. So yeah, that's where we are. That's where we stand. And so it was that week, and I think I got up to like Thursday that week. No, I got up. Yeah, I got up to like Thursday that week, and I was like, bro, this is just not gonna work out. Like, this is just not going to work out because my like, I think what it is honestly is like when I work, my day job that is. When I work, I'm like after work, my brain is literally completely fried. Like I can't do anything else, anything intensive because of the way that I work. So it's way easier for me to literally just like start work in like start business in the morning and do it as like the first thing when I wake up, first thing in the morning, and then go into my day job, and then like that'll be it. And that's like energy management, you know what I mean? Like I watched this podcast with Founders Podcast. If you haven't seen it or heard of it, you need to go watch it. And this is my favorite podcast. This is the podcast I literally promote the most because it literally is just that good. But he also has another podcast by his, like, it's his namesake podcast, so it's literally called David Senra. And in that podcast, um he like legit does he does like like he talks to people one on one. And so he did one with Toby Lutzka, who is the founder of Spotify. Um, or Spotify, Shopify, the co-founder. He's the co-founder of Shopify. And I want to give you guys some visual cues. There we go. There we go. So this is Founders Podcast. This one right here. And then obviously the one on the top is the David Senra podcast. So I listened to this podcast on top. And David's like Luke Toby Lutzka basically talked about the importance of energy management. Like, it's not about time. So like productivity is time management in the ordinary sense of the word, but in his sense of the word, for him specifically, he is the most productive when he thinks about productivity as energy management and not time management. And that made sense to me, honestly. Like, when I heard it, it made so much sense to me. And it's been something I've been striving for ever since. Like, it was almost like a new unlock in a sense. Because sometimes, like, you can have all the time in the world, but then you go to do a task and, like, the task is you're not giving it your best because you don't have the best energy for that task. Like, you haven't managed your energy enough to be able to have that task. So, sorry, I'm trying to say less. I really am. I'm actually being very cognizant of it. And I'm also trying to say like less. So I'm also being a little more cognizant of that too. But anyway, just introduce that a little bit. Cool. All right. So anyway, did I take my allergy medicine yesterday? I don't think I did. But my eyes are like a mess right now. They're a whole mess right now. Anyway, so yeah, things pretty much changed for me when I changed from thinking about things as, instead of time management, energy management. And so that's kind of what it's been for me. And that's what I've been striving for. And so what you'll realize if you try and strive for this too is you'll realize that there are tasks that don't need that much energy, and there are tasks that do need a lot of energy, right? There are tasks that your brain, like, if you do it first thing in the morning, you're it's got like you're going to do it a lot of times. Actually, if you do something first thing in the morning, like, that's literally the best part of your brain. That's like the best time to do stuff because your brain hasn't been drawn 100 different directions by the what's going on throughout the day. So similarly, if you do like a task like making a YouTube video, for example, first thing in the morning, why is it's so weird the way that this is, whatever. Like, making a YouTube video first thing in the morning, let's say if you're someone who gets easily distracted, yeah, you're less likely to get distracted first thing in the morning, especially if you have like other guardrails in place. Um, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say especially if you have other guardrails in place, because in the morning you're just more focused and concentrated. You haven't, like I said before, you don't have as much stimulus that has gone into your brain and your life and all that stuff just yet. So this is why, like, a lot of people say your highest leverage hours are in the morning, and this is for me too. This is most people, and so highest leverage as in like the like when you wake up, basically. Like it doesn't have to be like super early in the morning. I just prefer super early in the morning, but it doesn't have to be super early in the morning. So I used to wake up. I've actually tried different routines since the start of the year. And so I used to wake up, I would wake up at 5. I think I got into this routine fairly quickly. But what I would do prior to that, sorry for saying, I'm going to apologize every single time so that I get in the habit of not saying. But anyway, what I started with was, so the first, I'm not even going to lie, the way my job is, I got in a, so this is going to be like, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys to the point of almost overkill. And also because I really don't think that people are watching. But if people are watching, then like maybe somebody can resonate. I don't know. But I was in a very disgusting point at the end of last year, if I'm being completely honest. And it was a little bit, it was a life switch because I was in college earlier that year. Like a lot happened. Last year was probably the longest year that I've ever had, and this is probably one of the quickest years I've ever had. So it's kind of insane how the juxtaposition of it all. But I was in college at the start of the year. I graduated towards the middle of the year, the first quarter of the year or the second quarter of the year. I traveled a lot in the second and third quarter of the year, went to concerts. Like I had a lot of experiences last year. And then I started my job in the last quarter of the year. And it was, like I said, there was a lot of different life experiences. And I went from having a very structured life, the structured life of college specifically, to having a different kind of structured life because technically life is still very structured having a job, but it's a different kind of structured life. And so like in the first few months of having my job, it was still very much structured, very very much structured because it was in person. But once everything moved kind of remotely or like hybrid if you will, then it became a little bit less structured for, and not for my work life, but for my personal life, that is. And so I'm gonna be honest, like, and this is gross, it's disgusting, but like, showers were not like a part of my normal routine, not my daily routine. I would take showers, but like, they just weren't a part of my daily routine. Obviously, working out, like, if showers is not part of my daily routine, throw working out at the window because that's definitely not gonna be part of the routine. And showers, like I said, I would shower, but like obviously not as often. Like it's not gonna be like 2 weeks or even like a week, but like it's just like a little bit intermittent. It's not like I wake up every day and I go and shower. And so I felt I that was I don't want to say it was a tough period in my life, but I do want to say that it was, I think it kind of opened my eyes a little bit and I got sick of it very quickly. Very sick of it very quickly. And so that was honestly the perfect time of the year for that to happen because it was the last quarter of the year. And the next year, for New Year's, I told myself, listen, I'm going to be a brand new person. Hold, please. I'm going to read this really quickly and then I'm going to get back to the story. Okay, cool. So that was a perfect time. And in the new year, obviously, one of my kind of things was I'm getting into the nitty gritty here. I honestly did not start this thinking I was gonna dump out my heart and soul and like tell you my whole history and how I got to this point, but fuck it. So in the new year, um, there should be like a 50 episode, like day 50 special or some shit. I'm giving it to you guys on a day 46. Whatever, bro. Or 47. Anyway, on New Year, one of my New Year's things was like, okay, I need to like get my shit together. And so I came into this new year thinking like, okay, I'm going to make this business thing work. And then also I felt a little scorned from my um I felt a little bit scorned from my job because there were things that were happening there that we don't have enough time to get into. That's going to kind of derail the story a little bit. But there were things that were happening in my day job that just left me feeling kind of scorned and feeling undervalued, very undervalued, and very replaceable. And so I'd listened to this podcast that was like, listen, if you're not being treated well in your job, if you're not being treated well in your relationship, if you're not being treated well in life, then just leave. Like no need to stay and yell up and down and blah blah blah. Like no, just leave. So I said, cool. And I started crafting what was known as the exit plan. And I'm like, by saying this, I could be getting myself in trouble, but whatever. So I started crafting what was known as the exit plan, which is starting a business, right? Like wanting a business. And I've always known, like, I did a whole podcast where I talk through, and this was like, I guess this is just for myself, I guess, but it really helped me. It was almost like a therapy session of sorts. And I basically just talked through like from the age I was 9 and I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to build something from that age to today. Like how did I get from there to today? And how can I get back to that 9-year-old version of Kadi who was so sure in herself and knew what she wanted to do and that she just wanted to build. She wanted to be an entrepreneur. She wanted to build something cool. How do I get back to that version of Kadi? And so I've always known, the point of me saying that is I've always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. I've always known that. And, as life goes, you kind of get lost in like life, I guess. You get lost in external influences. And sometimes it's hard for you to find your voice because of it all. And yeah, it's, obviously it's tough as life goes on and, things change. Life, events happen and events change the way that you see things. I had like a big event that happened that kind of changed what I wanted to be because of how it affected me so personally. So, but I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And at the end of the day, life isn't promised. So, what better time than now? And I think I came to that realization at the start of the year. And so I guess what I've been chasing, honestly, I don't, I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if maybe I'll have to private this. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But if you're watching this and it's public, and I'll just keep an eye on it to make sure like nothing crazy happens. But yeah, I thought what better time to start than now. So that was also another one of my things during the new year. And so I was like, the first order of business is to literally just start being more disciplined. So I was reading this book. I actually started reading it towards the end of last year. I don't have it. I keep looking over here. That's where my books are. Um, Let me see if I have my backpack on me. Hold on. Hold, please. This is my Kindle. So, I was reading this book. Let's see here. Okay. It's being slow as fuck right now, but whatever. This book, it's called Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. So, this is part of like, I think, a 3 or 4 part series. And it's like discipline. He talks about discipline, he talks about justice, he talks about courage, and he talks about wisdom, I think. So, I think it's a 4 part series. And so, I was reading that last year, and then obviously became way relevant for me at the start of the year because I think last year I just knew that I just didn't have enough discipline, and so it became relevant for me at the start of the year. And so I was reading it, finished it. I joined this community with this guy who ended up being my mentor, and he also kind of helped me like personally, as my mentor. So forever grateful to that man. And I just got like I just got on a routine basically at the start of the year. And so my routine was literally to wake up, read, meditate, exercise, go on a walk, whatever. And I was also doing 75 hard. So I think doing like all of that in one kind of helped me to, you know, it helped me to oh cool. Anyway, doing all that in one like really helped me to kind of like get myself together, especially 75 hard. And so I had a routine, like I said, wake up, like, read, meditate, go. I would go on a walk. Um, Sorry for saying go on a walk and then like start work or whatever. And I've always liked waking up early, to be honest with you. Like this isn't something new. But then and then after work, then work on the business. But then I became aware of the fact that like after work, and sorry for saying like that's gonna be annoying for you, and I'm sorry, but I have to do this for myself, and especially because like almost nobody's listening, so it's fine. So after work, I would work on the business, and that was the original routine. I'm pretty sure. The only problem was that obviously after work, my brain is literally just not there. All right, my mic just died, which is amazing. So you guys are gonna have to Bear with me. Let me see. Like, I wonder if I can like use this mic. Testing. No, I don't think I can use it and have it be charging at the same time. Okay, cool. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, so I was saying, I don't know where it cut out, so I'm just gonna continue. I think it was pretty soon though. Like, obviously, I couldn't work during the day because I'm not good at multitasking. So, obviously, can't go during the day for obvious reasons. Can't go at the end of the day because my brain is fried. The only time left is before work, before the day, and the day is work. So, and also in the book I read, something that like in Discipline is Destiny, one of the chapters here is to. It's called is I think it's like it just says wake up at 6 a.m. And so they talked about it and I was like that's something that I probably should do. Like I probably should be doing. I can take this out of my face now. Well, I was like that's something I probably should be doing. So I bit the bullet and I started waking up at 6 a.m. to or not 6 a.m. 5 a.m. I literally yeah so 5 a.m. was the no 7 a.m. was the first thing because I had that's the time that I would have meetings with my mentor. And so I was like, if I'm doing like, I might as well just do five. And so I literally, okay, so I literally, um, I need to make sure I'm still working while I'm talking to you, but I literally was like, yeah, 7 a.m. is just not gonna cut it anymore, and so 5 a.m. it is because from 5 to 8, that's 3 hours, and then obviously 8 to 9, get ready, and then 9 to 5, work, and then or 9 to 6, 8:30 to 5:30. It's flexible, really, but work those hours, and then from 5 to 9, literally, literally 5 to 9 is my personal time, so I could go on a walk, I could listen to music, I could watch a show, I could do whatever for those 4 hours, but those 4 hours ends up being like an hour, maybe 2 hours, because, miscellaneous things, talk to a family member here, talk on the phone here, do this, do that. By the end of the day, I'm left with like an hour or two to myself, and then go to bed at 9. Bro, what is going on in here? Whatever. Anyway, so that's been the routine that I've been operating off of since basically the start of the year. Anyway, I need to fix this. Sorry, I'm trying to like, I'm literally trying to work as I'm doing this, and it's just not. Let's see here. Just gonna. Okay, cool. I had to take care of that really quick. Anyway, where was I? Wake up at 5 a.m. The rest is history. I don't. I honestly don't know what I was talking about or where I was, but I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like, so I started waking up at 5 a.m. because of the book. because of multitude of factors, and like that was the only way. And then also like I listened to the podcast. I'm pretty sure I listened to the podcast either at the start of this year or towards the end of last year, maybe like in the middle of last year. Maybe let me actually see when it came out, because that would really inform when I listened to it. But if I had to guess, I would say towards the start of this year, because I think the podcast literally, like the David Senra podcast, literally came out at the start of this year. No, it didn't. It came out last year. But the Toby podcast came out at the start of this year, and that's when I listened to it. So sometime in January or February, most likely January, I listened to it, and then I got the whole thing of like energy optimization instead of time optimization, and um and so yeah, so that's that, and then the rest is history. Started waking up at 5 a.m. Would get 3 hours of deep work in, no distractions, like no nothing. Um, and it was easy to do, relatively speaking, because it's during the winter. Like in the winter, obviously there's barely any sunlight, so I'm literally maximizing my sun window, where it's like I go to bed early because the sun literally sets at like 5 p.m. and I go to bed at 9, which is like 4 hours after the sun sets, and then I wake up early. So I wake up before the sun has risen and after the sun has set. And that also really that helped with my what do you call it? Circadian rhythm, circadian rhythm, and it helped with my vitamin D and all that stuff, whatever. So I just thought that, what, let's screw everything else that I had literally just learned. Let's try to just optimize for sunlight. But that did not work. Bro, my eye. Itching your eye is like almost orgasmic. I'm not even gonna lie. My eye is so itchy right now, but then like when I get it just right, oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. Bro, I feel like I should be showing this. I feel like I shouldn't be showing that. Well, I have to cut it out. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, cool. Um, let's see here. Okay. So yeah, that's that. That's how I came to the routine. That's how I came here, and obviously I switched it, and then last week I I had I tried it, and obviously it went up in flames. So I'm switching it back because last week, like I said, was the most unproductive week I've ever had. Like it was really bad. I couldn't do anything, and my brain is fried after work, and yeah. So back back to here. I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna actually get into work because I need to focus now. But hopefully you were entertained, or hopefully you learned something new. I don't know. I am so sorry. I did not realize that I did not realize that the camera had been off this whole time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to film a quick video because I feel it right now, and then my workday is over, and then I'm just going to like periodically kind of um, do like Dream 100s when I have breaks throughout the day. So that is the goal for today. But if you want to see what video I make, tune in to the channel. I'm literally just going to be talking. I'm not going to do like any whiteboard shit. Like, I literally just want to talk. So yeah, I will see you. That's it for the stream. 2.5 hours. Not bad. Not bad at all. I did have a call, so that's why it's 2.5 hours, but I woke up at like 5 on the dot. So I'll see you tomorrow.